Hey guys, so apart from Ida, we will be getting Lunafreya Echo as well, so let's talk about her kit. Do you want or need Lunafreya's BT? You can use her, and most of her abilities are basically utility without her BT, but her BT does give something extra. So what does her BT gives is that her quick and heavy prayer buff will increase by one additional turn. While heavy prayer buff is not something to be amazed about because the additional damage that she provides through the buff doesn't scale with HP damage bonus. So let's ignore that because it just doesn't provide enough damage, but it does have high HP damage up in case if your unit needs a lot of HP damage up in order to cap. But anyway, the more unique buff I would say is the quick prayer buff. So quick prayer buff, when you grant it onto another of your player, they will get 3 turns. So 1 consecutive, 2nd consecutive, and 1 more turn before they pass their turn to another unit. So with her BT, she now gives them 4 turns in total. And sometimes depending on your setup, you might and do want to have that specific 4 the specific 4 turn in a row in order to do some crazy combo. So yeah, but that is min-maxing, right? So if you are not really for that and you just want that consecutive turn and thus want a little bit of that feeling like having 3 consecutive turn spamming LDs instead of having 4, then it's fine without her BT. So also do note that it also does depends on who are you using to spam the LD. So like for example, if you have Ida, she does 4. If you have 4 turn to do 4 of Ida's LD compared to having just 3 turn to do 3 Ida's LD, that could actually be a quite big difference. Okay. Anyhow, technically you can enjoy her kit without her BT, but I would really recommend to have it for some 4 turns in a row setup. So Lunafreya's kit support aura, healing, battery charger, enchanter, turn manipulator. So all of this is actually really good. And yeah, so let's talk about how to use Lunafreya's kit. Okay, so her FR is generic for non-elemental or ice elemental unit. That's because her FR enchants the party with through water enchant. So which means if you are a fire unit, you will still be enchanted with with water. If you are wind, you still will be enchanted with water. So by hook or by crook, you will be able to fulfill the 40% for using a water ability as long as Lunafreya's FR is active. Then the other is ice. So non-elemental, she enchant the party with her EX buff. So make sure her EX buff is active all the time. That's because Lunafreya does function as a supercharger or fast charger. So, and the problem with this older kit is that they are non-attacking skill, the skill that you use to buff or to charge, doesn't extend their buff. So like Iris extend buff, I forgot, there are some units that extend the buff, so it's easier that when you keep smashing the charge button, you don't have to worry about your buff dropping off. So that's not the case for Lunafreya, so you gotta be careful. Sometimes you just have to give her another turn during your entire setup so that she can get everything ready. But do note, if you use her FR, you can always use her LD call first, get several turn, and the end of the turn or the second end of the turn, then you spam FR, then you pass it to another player's turn. Well, basically you wouldn't want to use you wouldn't want to attack with Lunafreya during FR because she just doesn't hit as hard. So she is really there just to provide that consecutive turn utility. Yeah. Her FR also doesn't have the 50% HP damage limit up, so probably a lot of people won't really want to use her FR, but well, that's fine. You can still always use LD to grant your ability to someone else, then they can activate FR. And when it comes back to Lunafreya, you can use Echoes and enchant another member for multiple turns again. So one more thing to highlight is that 40 is from ice, 40 is from water. That's additional 20% when at least one buff is granted to another unit. So if you have any other character like Sas that attacks as well as buffed party, they will be able to fulfill up to 100% HP damage bonus per turn. Okay, so that also kind of does make Lunafreya rather interesting, because she, apart from Maria and Leonora, Lunafreya 100% is a very high number. Her quick prayer buff can really help to conserve on turn count, because the first 2 turns, if you are granting 3 turns, basically only the final turn is counted for the turn count. So if you are very concerned about that, then Lunafreya is a good unit for you to have. Yes, as I mentioned in the last video, Lunafreya is very important for nuke strategy, and her LDCA is simply a must get. If you don't plan to get her kit like BT, FR and everything, just please pull for her LD. Her LD is really that good. For crystal passive, nothing specific I would want to recommend, so just generic passive. I'm giving her a score of 9. Alright. I do know that at this point she is no longer a support unit where she provides high HP damage limit out to the entire party. But if you really bring her, it's basically for the turn manipulation, consecutive turn, nuke strategy setup. So to me that is really useful, and her LDCA is top quality. Okay, so I'm giving her such a high score because in terms of using her as a unit, using her as a call, using her at a lot of conditions, she's actually pretty decent. So yeah. Yep, a disclaimer here, it might be biased. I really do like the setup using Lunafreya, so it might be biased. Anyway, if again I have to repeat this, if you don't plan to get her full kit, just at least get her LD. Okay, for me, Lunafreya as a free upgrade. I already had her FR, her everything. Okay, so good luck to anyone who is pulling, and have fun.